Okay. This video is being recorded specifically as a gift to Catfish Walker and Downtown Benny. It's writing a song by the numbers, more or less. It's not quite the same as paint by the numbers. Now, I'm going to be working in the key of D, because I have the best chance of croaking out some tolerable noise at the time that I try to think these words up. This guitar is tuned when it's open. That's a C chord. It's a special type of C chord called a C6, but that's of no meaning. That's a C chord. This is your basic C chord. I'm going to write this song in C. That's C open. The second butterfly, you probably can't tell us what it is an F chord. The third butterfly is a G chord. The skinny red butterfly, if I ever wind up going up there, is a C chord. And I may well not go there, but I might, so I wanted you to know. Okay, now that's because they occupy the appropriate places in the number system. Okay, open, the first note in a scale, that scale's 1. Okay, open is 1. The second note in that scale is 2. The third note in that scale is 3. The fourth is F. The fifth is G. The sixth is A. The seventh is B. And we go back to the C chord. Now, you can get fancy, but I'm not going to. Basically, most songs consist of the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord. Whoops. In that order, and then at the end of the song, it goes back to the 1 chord to end, to give you what's called resolution. Okay, so we're going to start out, we're going to play on 1, 4, and 5. Because we're in C, that is C, F, and G. But that would be 1, 4, and 5. Usually when I'm doing stuff, I'll work in the key of D. So this is the second note of the C scale, but it's the first note of the D scale. So that's a D note, and then you get an E note. You don't get an F, you get an F sharp. You get a G, you get an A, you get a B, whoops, wrong string, you get a C sharp, and a D. But in the D scale, 1 is there, 4 is G, 5 is A, and it gets the less common there. I'm going to be playing in the G scale. If I'm clear down, in the C scale, if I'm clear down here, I'm playing a C chord unless I'm saying otherwise out loud. If I'm clear up here, I'm playing a G chord unless I'm saying something else out loud. And in between is the F. 1, 4, and 5. That's a 4 chord. That's a 1 chord. That's the 5 chord. Okay, now Solomon, if you got some words kind of floating around the back of your head, while you're doing this, you listen to the words. You say, well, I know this ain't much of a house. I'm gonna go to a 4 chord. I know this ain't much of a house. It's so little, I come back sick. sticks. They can't find me if they're not already somewhere pretty close. That's a 5 chord. So far I've played 1, 4, and 5. When I tell you you can make $1 million playing 1, 4, and 5, if you don't believe me, go ask Bob Seger. Something going, we can turn this into a song if I'm ready to make up lyrics sometimes. Some of us have that blessing, but not all of us. So we're playing along, and we say, well, you know, that's cool. I heard it somewhere before on the radio this afternoon and yesterday morning, and when I was in high school, but it's all right. Now, if you're Vinny, write a bunch of lyrics, you're pretty much, the reason you're confused with my lessons is because you're already doing it all and nobody has to tell you how. Okay, but I want a chorus and I want it to be a little different, so I go. About their relatives, their aunts and uncles, their cousins, the ones they kiss and the ones they really wish they hadn't got caught kissing. But what you need to know about it is on this guitar, if these first 4 strings, first lowest 4 strings on this first fret, open fret, are a C. The top 3 strings, those are the A minor. That is the relative minor. It works that way. If I play here, it's a G chord, and if I play here, it's a G minor, and if I play here, it's a what is that thing? F sharp chord. No, F. Yeah, F minor. Okay, so, but you see the letters aren't too important because I'm playing the notes, and that's what you gotta know is you gotta learn letters go together, and then after that you just go back to playing them, and you think, okay, well I'm playing in C, so I need a 2 major here, and that usually wants to go to a 5. It feels so good. I've had about the 2 most important things in my life that are not human beings in my lap today, and that's my Chihuahua Chica. And this homemade 7-string cigar box lap steel guitar. Okay, but let's say I want to make a lot more complicated verse. Let's say I wanted to write a song as complicated as Louise, that Bonnie Raitt sang in the movie Thelma and Louise. And I could say, they all thought Louise was not half bad. Whoops, wrong chord, I'm in C, bad. I usually play this in D, so I'm having to do a double brain shift. They all said Louise was not that bad. Now see, that's a 2 chord. Usually it goes to a 5 chord, but this song doesn't. It was written on, whoops, on the wall. No, shoot, I can't play it in this key. Alright, you guys, we're going to do it in D. Live with it. I'm up 2 frets higher than I'm probably saying half the time. My 1 chord. They all said chord, which is very unusual to go off of a 2 chord. I said, well, I'm being a moron. Okay, that's my 2 chord. I'm going to go to the 4, which is unusual, but that's what makes songwriters creative. You take all the rules of what everybody does all the time and you say, I bet if I tweak that one right there. It was written on the walls and window shades. No, she now coming around again. Say it's a new line. So we're at 1. No, she'd act a little girl. That's 2. Hate to see her there on 4. Don't believe her on 5, 'cause that's her game. That goes to a 4 chord, 'cause we're about to play a break. They get by. So they thought it kinda sad when they found Louise in her room. They'd all put her down below their kind. She died this afternoon. I know the one I left out of, well, I'm gonna skip. Sometimes a bottle of perfume. Now this is what I was supposed to do earlier. Well, here they come. Flowers and maybe some lace. Men brought Louise tents and trinkets. That thing there was a 6 minor, a relative minor. Trinkets, that's back to my E, my 2 chord. Their intentions were easily traced. Down. Too bad it had to end so ugly. 2 6 minor, relatively minor. Too bad she had to go this way. So at night the wind is blowing cold. So good night, Louise. Good night. Just you guys, me, and the electric fence.